Good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode number 15 of the Fanboys Anonymous group meeting podcast. I am your host, the owner of fanboysanonymous.com, Tony Mango, and with me on the panel tonight, we've got fellow fanboy Ronnie Brown.
Hey, hey.
And fangirl Caroline Oliveira.
Hello.
This meeting's officially been called to order. We're going to talk about a topic that we don't get into too often on the group meeting. We usually do movie-related stuff, and since the Oscars are coming around in February, and we've been doing a lot of different movie stuff, I figured let's put the movies aside for now and get into some other things. And Caroline suggested this topic, and I liked the idea of it. So we're going to be talking on the tech side of things a little bit more. Safety in social media. And it's going to branch out in a couple different ways. We're going to talk about bullying, cyberbullying, I guess you could just classify it as. Leaked passwords, accounts being hacked into, doxing, pretty much anything like that. We're going to, instead of splitting this up and making this a case-by-case kind of thing, we're just going to spit out topics and talk until we decide that we don't want to talk anymore. So that's how this is going to go. Why not, right? Let's keep it a random flow kind of a thing. So, generally speaking, I think the most basic topic that we can talk about is probably the cyberbullying, and then we can get into more specifics behind that. But have any of you guys ever been bullied over the internet?
Not really that I can think of. But you see awful things on Tumblr. People just anonymously attacking people, and it's insane.
That's true. I mean, I used to get in a lot of fights, but not really like bully, I think. But I mean,
well, how would the other people feel? The people you were fighting with? Were you bullying them?
No, I was not bullying them. Okay, they just were being really stupid and making very ridiculous comments, and I just thought that I should say something because they were just being assholes, and I'm like, hey, like, quiet down. And then they try to get fresh with me, and I mean, I got fresh with them, and then let them have it, and then I got tired of fighting. But a cousin of mine, and this is like back in Brazil, she was being bullied by this group of girls. She thinks it's girls. She doesn't know because they were doing it anonymously, of course. But
well, the main rule on the internet is if you think it's a girl, it's definitely an overweight guy. So.
Well, no, but okay, this is the thing. Like, she thinks it's somebody that went to school with her because they were being very mean and talking about spreading rumors about her in school and doing everything over the internet. That time I think was still like MySpace. That was one of my fights because then I decided to like put a stop to it. But it was really hard for her. Like she got really, really upset about it. And at first, I guess that was like my first like contact with cyberbullying, and I didn't expect for her to really feel upset about, just random people making up stories about her. But it was hard for her. And I'm sure that people that go through it nowadays, it must be even worse because we have so many more different outlets now where you can get cyberbullied or bully people or get in fights.
Mm-hmm.
Well, bullying over the internet's the same as being bullied outside of the internet. I mean, a lot of people think that it's not as bad, but if people say anything that's going to hurt your feelings, it's going to hurt your feelings no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's especially hard when it comes to kids that are still in school because you can bring that into the school environment and make it even worse. And everybody, of course, back when I was in school, MySpace was the thing, and then it started to get into Facebook when I had graduated from high school. But even now, I mean, that's the main tool for people to connect with each other. So if something happens on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, it's going to spread around the school anyway because people will see it. So that's something that a lot of people, I think, don't really want to acknowledge. They want to kind of think that it's its own little bubble, but the internet's not the same that it was 20 years ago or 25 years ago or however you would constitute it. I mean, I remember times where, the internet back when I was littler was still like not everybody had it. And if you did have it and you were, running off of like the free little AOL things or something like that, like You basically used it for Encarta articles and checking up some news sites and stuff like that. There wasn't that idea of having yourself on the internet anywhere near as much. Nobody had websites, you know. There was no about me pages or any of that stuff. So any of the information you would have there was basically just you would tell people your email address. And even that, I mean, most families used like a family email, so it didn't really matter. And now everything is so tied into yourself. I mean, Google Plus tries to make you be yourself on YouTube, and they really, really want you to change your name to your own personal account and stuff. And that's problematic in some ways, because you can't really just quickly remove yourself from the internet. I mean, I know from having my own websites and stuff, there are links that I've posted on the internet that I wish didn't have my name on it anymore. Not for any particular reasons for, like, the content, but just it's one more thing that I don't need to have connected to me. And it kind of sucks that people search for my name and they'll come across a whole bunch of extra crap from years ago, and I want to direct them in a certain way. So if I would have had something where somebody would have been bullying me over the internet or whatever, you can't really hide.
That's true.
Right. And especially now with smartphones too, everybody is like a second away from the internet. Whereas, like you were mentioning, how not many people really had it back when we were younger. Just like nobody had smartphones, so they didn't exist. So like at school, people weren't going on the internet unless they were doing research or something in the library, or playing games or whatever. Nothing like it is today, where everybody's on the internet pretty much 24/7.
Yeah, and even if you were on like a MySpace or something like that, you could sometimes have entire conversations about you that you didn't really pay attention to, because it was just like comments on other people's walls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now you would get tagged in it.
Yeah, tagging wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah. So there's really like no way to hide now. And in a way that's good in some ways, because now you can't hide if you're doing something wrong, but damn, that's gotta suck for the people that do get bullied. I've never witnessed it myself. Nobody's ever really bullied me over the internet. I get comments from people all the time that are, you know, fuck you and all that kind of stuff, but I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably get a bunch of comments on this video.
Right. I just thought of something like how we were talking about how you have to sometimes put your name to stuff, and it's so hard, it's so easy nowadays to find you online. It also reminds me of another problem that I guess could be a type of cyberbullying, but it could be way more dangerous than anything. It's when people steal steal your pictures, your name, and create fake profiles. I remember a case that happened, I'm not sure exactly where, but I think it was in South America. This pedophile was stole this whole girl's life on the internet, created a profile for her, and he was using that to communicate with other little girls, you know, and get pictures of them and other really horrible stuff. And I think that even happened on Instagram. So it just brings another level of you not feeling safe, because not only people know who you are, people might want to become you and do it for a really bad, horrible thing or motive.
Yeah, it's one thing if they just steal. I mean, right now we're going through a situation where some of our videos for not only Fanboys, but for Smart Out Moment and the Mega Powers Network, we realized one of our members, Chris Dace, pointed it out to us earlier that somebody was taking a whole bunch of the different Monday Night Raw post-show episodes and the Dace Man show, and they have another channel on YouTube, and they're just putting them up.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's one thing, which I'm sure will get taken down if YouTube knows what the fuck they're doing. But
Right.
for them to take your identity is an entirely different thing. And
Yeah.
it's creepy enough if somebody wants to try to replicate what you're doing, or if they want to try to pretend to be you, but if they're trying to do it for, like a dark motive other than just goofing around, then that takes it to a whole new level.
Oh yeah.
And you can't do anything about that a lot of the time too, because if somebody claims to be you, what's to say that your account isn't the one that's the bad one? And you know, these companies on the internet, they don't give a shit.
That's true. Until something really bad happens, and then there's this old argument about, like how much is Facebook or Instagram responsible for what people are posting, and just like you guys said, I feel like sometimes they just like like with YouTube, like taking out videos because of people not reading descriptions and thinking it's something but it's not, but like that is just so like that's just so petty. Like there's really, you're focusing on that, and when people are posting things of, I'm gonna kill somebody, then they raise a red flag. But like really, like if you have the power to monitor what people post on your site like that, maybe you should be using all that power to do something better than taking down videos that are not really hurting anyone, except for the dumbasses that can't read.
Well, that in itself is a form of bullying. And,
right.
You know, since you brought that up, then technically I have been bullied over the internet, because that's been 2 different channels for Fanboys that's been taken down for idiots that couldn't read. And, you know, they are angry at the idea that they clicked under a video and fell for it, I guess you could say, even though the tactics aren't really necessarily to try to trick you. It's just, you know, SEO and using the right keywords and stuff, but they're pissed about something and they lash out and they try to, you know, hurt your product because of it. And apparently it works, because it doesn't matter if you have everything labeled correctly and all that. If YouTube sees that a bunch of people flag it for spam reasons or something like that, they just follow through with it. And that sucks that there's not a better way to control that kind of stuff. Other than that, though, I mean, the closest thing I could say that I've been bullied with over the internet has to be just like odd comments from people that, you know, the angry, I disagree with you kind of stuff. Or one instance, I don't know if you would constitute it as bullying, but I thought it was creepy enough that I remember the person. I'm not going to say their name just in case, but I do know their name by heart. I've remembered this, and I've got it written down in my notes just in case something happens out of it. But somebody had sent me a message.
Oh shit!
Yeah, somebody had sent me a message on FormSpring.
Oh God, FormSpring.
Where you could have the option of sending it anonymously. They didn't. Credit to them. But their question to me was, would you rather be killed up close or far away?
Oh
what?
God.
That is just not, see, like that would make me want to fight with them online.
Well, that made me delete my FormSpring account.
Yes.
Yeah, that is just...
Why would you ask someone that?
Well, I clicked under his account at the time, and he had this creepy Jeffrey Dahmer kind of look to him.
Okay, Jeffrey Dahmer was kind of hot, though, so...
That makes it all okay.
Not all okay. I'm gonna shut up. I'm not gonna get any hot waters right now. I'm not gonna do it. But okay, continue.
I'm not talking hairstyle and stuff. I'm talking he's got the look of like he would kill a cat and eat it.
Yeah.
You know, kind of a thing. But he is one of the only instances where I actually was like a little bit scared. Instead of, you know, when I get messages from people, and I get messages from people all the time that are, you know, to hell with you, I hope that you die and whatever, and I'm like, you just clicked on this video for the wrong reasons, LOL, and I'll upvote them and shit, and, you know, every week we do a trivia question for the Smart Out Moment show, Smack Talk, and it's become a running joke where if I ask the questions, because I'm a real dick with the questions, people will be like, fuck you, Tony, I hope you die, and stuff like that. And, you know, I know that that's not a bullying situation at all. It's just them goofing off.
It is, though. It kind of is, because they're threatening you over something so stupid, and they wouldn't do it in real life.
Oh, no, they're not, like, threatening, though. They're actually, like, people that comment on the other things, and they come back each week, and they're just like, oh, you're such a dick, I hope that you fuck off and die, kind of a thing. So,
no,
like...
that's not... just saying, like, would you do that to somebody if you were talking to them in person? Like, would you have the guts to do something like that if you didn't have the barrier of the internet, where, yes, you might know somebody's name, you might even know where they live, but it still gives you, I guess, digital courage to say something like that.
Well, that's a good topic.
Not okay.
That's a good topic to bring up, because a lot of that is because of the whole barrier.
Yeah.
And trolls are a perfect example of this. I mean, I would assume at the very least 75% of what people say on the internet, they wouldn't say in person.
They wouldn't, yeah.
For most people. I mean, I know that I typically don't do that because I don't care. So, you know, if I'm typing something about, like, I mean, I can't say that I have a filter for me on the internet if I have a website of my own that had things written of, like, pregnant women are ugly, and it's bullshit that we should donate to Haiti after the earthquake and stuff like that. Like, you know, I've got pretty bad opinions out there on the internet, but a lot of people, they do just run into that situation where they can, you know, bring up a sword on the internet, and in person they would be cowering in a corner.
Oh yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. Totally. I mean, in some of the fights that I got in, I don't think I would be willing to fight them in real life. Some of them I could take it down, but yeah.
Well, what do you usually see yourself getting into arguments with on the internet? Just like differing opinions about, like, pop culture and stuff?
No, I mean, okay. I was a very angry teenager. So back then, like if somebody said something about, okay, even nowadays, if somebody says something bad about The Shining, I get very aggravated. And that would, like, piss me off. But most of the arguments that I got were arguments about people just being very disrespectful to women in general. To some people in my family, if they attack them, like, to me, that was like, ugh, I'm gonna, like, pop your head off. Like, that's just not okay. But mainly just people, like, it's okay if you have, like, a dumb-ass opinion. Like, it's still your opinion. It's kind of like, you know, everybody has their asshole, so everybody's entitled to their own likes and dislikes. But I feel like when you start talking about how, like, for instance, this one got me really aggravated, like how women shouldn't get paid the same amount of men do because we're just, like, genetically inferior, just things like that, no, like, I could kill you. Like, okay, maybe not in real life, but maybe over the internet. But that is just not okay. So that will piss me off. And then sometimes also when you hear them out, okay, you let your opinion out, fine. But when you're about to do your, like, you're about to voice your own opinion, that person's just, like, not having it and just being an asshole about it and thinking, like, oh, whatever they say is the truth when you already gave them a chance to speak, even though they're assholes. So yeah, that would get me mad. That will definitely get me into some fights. But mostly just people being stupid and just, like, not respecting other people.
What about you, Ronnie? When you usually get into arguments or say negative things over the internet and stuff, what situations do you find yourself in?
I usually don't find myself in many situations like that. I mean, I tend to just try to avoid it, and usually if I do get into an argument or anything, it's usually over something stupid. It'll be about movies, it'll be about differing opinions or whatever. So it's usually not a case of, like, someone trying to, how do I put this? It's usually not a case of, like, someone trying to win an argument. It's more a case of we're just getting our opinions out there and just talking about them. So I guess I'm lucky in that sense that I don't really deal with a lot of drama and bullshit. I just deal with stupid shit, really.
Fair enough.
I envy you for not having to get into a lot of these discussions.
Yeah.
That brings up another idea, though. I don't want to single out 4chan, but 4chan's easily the prime candidate for this kind of thing. When people get involved in these fights on the internet and you don't necessarily know who the person is, and you've got that barrier behind you and all that, usually it means that once the fight's over with, it's done. You know, there's a series of comments back and forth. People say fuck you to each other, and that's it. But 4chan tends to, and some other people, of course, too, they can take it to the next level, and they can try to figure out who the person is. And the terms become called doxing now, where people just will look up any information that they can possibly find out about you and put it out on the internet for everybody else to know too. And sometimes I think that this is actually a good thing, because we've had instances where somebody's mentioned on 4chan that they, I don't know, like they want to shoot up the school. Oh. And people will dox them, figure out where they go to school, what their name is and all that stuff, and inform the teachers. And then they'll find, you know, that this kid had notes about who he was going to shoot and stuff. That could be a good thing.
Yeah.
Usually, though, it's just some annoying person and they ruin their life. You know, they'll order a bunch of stuff and send it to their house. They'll send death threats to their house, and sometimes they deserve it, sometimes they don't. But usually I would say it's people taking it too far. And it's a shame if you do something stupid on the internet and you become infamous for it, and people start kind of picking on you because of the fact that people are picking on you. That's really a shame. And I don't think that there's any real way of stopping that. I mean, more people are getting used to hacking into things and figuring out ways around stuff now. You would never find this kind of stuff 15 years ago. And now people are doing it all the time.
Yeah. People are just assholes. Like, it's not going to stop. I just think it's going to get worse and worse. I was just, the other day, CNN was talking about how that group Anonymous, they were saying that they're going to hack all companies that might be connected to the recent acts of terrorism, and just ruin them. And that's, you know, that's a good idea in general, like, but wouldn't that open the door to other things? Like, what if somebody takes advantage of a situation and takes down a company that might just is not associated with something like that, but they can if they can hack into a company and just create chaos, couldn't they also implant false information that might lead people to think that they could be connected to the people that did the Charlie Hebdo thing and all the other crazy stuff that's going on lately? I mean, not saying that, I mean, I don't dislike Anonymous. I feel like some of the stuff they do is pretty cool, and just, it might lead to a change maybe in our future, but I don't know. I just feel like people are getting really umped up, and just like you said, like, they are going for it and doing more and more of this stuff lately.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, Anonymous, most of the time when Anonymous does something, I tend to support it.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. And why don't they do anything with Comcast? Damn it, guys, come on. But sometimes it gets a little bit freaky, because then I think to myself, well, what's to stop one of the people that can do this from just having a different opinion? And, you know, somebody who's a Democrat or a Republican or a socialist or a Nazi or whatever, like, they could cause a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Usually they just kind of play things for fun, and they'll replace, like, some .gov website with, like, a message about, I don't know, farts or something like that. But, like, there's a difference between that and leaking passwords and, you know, the attacks on, like, Sony where your credit card information is out there and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, there's two different philosophies, and peaceful resistance that are non-violent kind of things, those are cool. But the ones where they're doing it to kind of to gloat and to cause actual chaos, there's no real way to support that, I think.
No, I agree.
Preach.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to looking up to people like the doxing situation, is this a scenario where you would rather have people have the ability to do this and hope that they have the right judgment, or would you rather kind of, if we could do like some snap your fingers and the whole problem goes away kind of thing, would you rather there be a more secure wall? What about you, Ronnie?
I feel like in general, I would rather there be a more secure wall, because in some cases I've seen things on the internet, like for example, some random person from middle of nowhere, like Iowa, will be posting the most racist, terrible things online, and then people will see that and then also find out where that person works, like they find that person's Facebook, see where they work, and then suddenly they flood that person's work with just information about, you know what this person's posting online, like that. I feel like in a situation like that, a lot of people have it coming, especially when those people do challenge people on the internet. They'll say, oh, I'm posting this terrible shit, but, try to find me.
Oh, those idiots.
Like, in that kind of situation, then they bring it on themselves. But in other scenarios, I feel like most other scenarios, it's not really warranted. Like, yeah, someone may be a complete idiot and they're posting stupid things online, but I don't think it's right to sit there and try to ruin their life over it. Especially, there was an example of some Tumblr user, I can't remember who it was, but I heard all about that, where she was posting shitty things online and they doxed her. Not only doxed her, but somehow people got her mother's credit card number and put that online too.
Wow.
Like there's a line there, and people just crossed that to like the 10th degree.
Yeah, you mentioned Tumblr before. I'm not really into Tumblr. I have
What's your problem?
I have like 6 accounts and I never use them because I'm not too big on the whole like reposting things, and it seems like if you don't do that, then you aren't Tumblring. Is that what the word is, Tumblring? I don't know, like, makes sense to me.
It is now.
People just call it blogging. I mean, blogging and reblogging.
Now, see, I've got a Blogger account. I blog on Blogger. I tumble on Tumblr. Like, there you go. That makes sense.
Okay.
There it is.
Or I don't tumble on Tumblr. I don't know. Whatever the case may be. I am not really into that community a whole lot. I have seen mostly just people reposting things, and that's about it. But is there really like a whole lot of opportunity for people to message each other back and forth? Because I never really see that often.
The messaging system is not great on Tumblr. It's really just you can message someone either showing your name or anonymously. If it's anonymously, they obviously can't reply directly to you, but they can post your question, message, whatever, and their reply to it. If you do show your name, then they can reply to it, but you can't keep the conversation going in one continuous thread. It's a pain in the ass that you would have to continuously go to message the person, and they could reply to it, and then you would have to go to a new message, they could reply to it. That's a pain in the ass. But yeah, Tumblr's messaging system is really not anywhere near something like Facebook's.
Yeah, no. But that doesn't stop people from doing the stupid shit they do on Tumblr. It just like shows a whole lot of level of being committed to trolling somebody or just making somebody's virtual life a living hell. I haven't done anything on Tumblr. I just want to say that I am nice on Tumblr.
Yeah, so am I. I really never message people or do anything on Tumblr. I usually just sit there and reblog things I find funny or just otherwise enjoy.
Yeah.
Well, what confuses me is, since I'm mostly only on Facebook, I don't get the Tumblr thing, but I also don't get how people can have such elaborate conversations on Twitter.
Oh, God.
I don't even have a Twitter. I hate Twitter. I used to think that twat was the past tense of twit. Like if you twat somebody, send them a tweet yesterday or something like that. I just hate it. I hate it. But I do enjoy reading about the fights every now and then. Like when a celebrity gets it, that's fun, but no.
Yeah, I hate Twitter for a lot of different reasons, but one of them is the fact that if somebody does send me a message, I don't really want to have this 30 message back and forth tweet at this person, back at this person. It can only say a couple of words, that kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't quite get when people say that like they get into fights over Twitter, and I can understand celebrities.
Yeah.
Because celebrities, it's a lot easier for them to tweet than it is to try to keep up with Facebook, but outside of celebrities, it's like, well, who's airing their dirty laundry out on Twitter to begin with?
Yeah, seriously.
People are crazy.
Like, if I have any arguments on Facebook, the only people that could see it are my friends and friends of friends and stuff like that. But Twitter, it's out there for everybody. And do I really want to tweet at somebody and be like, are you sleeping with my girlfriend or some shit? Or like, that's something else that I think the people that might be getting bullied over Twitter are kind of asking for it. Not to be too mean, but like, you're in a really public forum where you're essentially saying that you want the attention, because you don't make a Twitter account unless you want attention.
Right.
Facebook, totally. You can do it to keep track of a couple friends and stuff like that, but Twitter is there to get followers. That's the entire point. And to me, if you're that type of a person where you have to worry about whether or not your Twitter account's going to get attacked from a bunch of angry people or something like that, if you're not a celebrity, then you're a douchebag, essentially. So
yeah, but that's it though.
Yeah, like maybe it's just the fact that I'm older than a lot of these kids that are on Twitter now, and it sounds like some bitter old man or something, but
man yells at cloud.
Yeah. Like, Facebook makes sense to me. Tumblr makes sense in a lot of ways. Twitter is something where if you are, depending on your social status is through a Twitter thing, you've got more things to worry about. And I guess I can't speak too much of that because all of my Twitter accounts are automated messages of links. That's about it. But I'm curious to see if anybody... Leave a comment below if you've got something else to say about Twitter in regards to that. If you're somebody who wants to defend the idea of arguing over Twitter, hell, call me out on it.
Yeah, and if you have any links of fights, I want to read them. So just
yes, please. Especially if you're a celebrity, because then I know who the hell you are. If you're not, and it's just
if you are a celebrity listening to this podcast, please let us know.
Also, if you're a celebrity listening to this podcast, fucking tweet us out. Come on, god damn it, we need the support.
And then maybe join us on the next one.
Yeah, and if you're an asshole, then we can argue on the air and bully you and dox you and figure out all your little things and sell them to the VH1 network, because that's obsessed with what celebrities do. Celebrities themselves, when it comes to safety and social media, I mean, we went through a big thing in 2014 with the Fappening, which was awesome. But but if I was a celebrity at the time and I was attacked with that, I'm sure, obviously, I would not think that it was awesome at all. But what do you guys think about when it comes to just something as simple as that? People hack into your iCloud and post a bunch of pictures of you, and you've got nothing that you can do about it, because once it's up on the internet, it's out there. Nobody's deleting every instance of it.
Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I need a moment. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that to be honest, I really didn't look at any of those pictures, only because I didn't, and like I didn't go out of my way to try to find them. Nobody tried to show them to me or anything, and I just think that it was so stupid that even happened. It's not fair to them at all, because it's like they took these pictures, for their own purposes, and suddenly now they're out there on the internet, And some people will sit there and try to argue, well, if you didn't want them out there, then you shouldn't have taken them in the first place. No. If you didn't want them out there, whoever, like the assholes who hacked into the iCloud accounts shouldn't have hacked into the iCloud accounts. And I think that was just such a huge... I mean, it was just such a huge invasion of privacy, and it just pissed me off to no end when that happened.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I felt like it was so humiliating, and like I get that these people are in the public eye, and you know, when they become famous actors, singers, or whatever, like they should be prepared to not have, you know, a lot of privacy and have their lives like looked under the microscope pretty much. But that was like, it was almost as if we were telling them like, your bodies, like every inch of your bodies don't really belong to you, and if you have those pictures and people post them online because they hacked into your iCloud or whatever, that's okay, you know. And that was just like, I don't remember seeing any guy pictures. Maybe I missed out on those, but as a woman, I just felt like I felt so disgusted. Like, I just felt, I kind of felt like it was done to me. Like, I felt like people were just being predators, really. Like, there's not another word for it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yes, they're sexual predators. I mean, I'll gladly admit I checked the pictures out, because there's no way you're going to say Anna Kendrick leaked and I'm not going to look at it. But I don't think that there's any argument against the idea that it's an invasion of privacy, and this shouldn't have happened, because there's different. There's a big difference when it comes to Farrah Abraham films of friggin' porno, basically, and it suddenly gets leaked onto the internet. Oh my God, how did this happen?
No, I wonder how.
Right, and then there's people that it's like, there's pictures of them hanging out with their friends and stuff. That, you know, that's really clearly just breaking into somebody's personal stuff, and it's the equivalent of breaking into their house. I mean, there's just because it isn't their actual home and you're not using a crowbar to get in, it is not, you know, the qualifier between it not being breaking and entering. But even when people try to argue that celebrities with a public eye, that's not as bad and stuff, I don't see it that way. I mean, I'm sure that you guys agree too. Just because they are celebrities doesn't mean they're not people.
Yeah, they're still people, exactly.
I mean, some of them are inhuman people. do terrible things and make terrible movies and all that other kind of stuff. But, you know, I think that one thing, though, that maybe you guys would agree with, maybe not, I don't know. But I guess if you want to try to lessen it to some extent, it's less creepy to me for people to hack into a celebrity's account than it is a normal person.
But don't you think that happens, though?
Oh, it definitely
We just don't know about it because, I mean, they're not known.
Well, yeah, because there's no reports on, like, Daisy Smith
your neighbor
or something
that had a sex tape and got leaked.
Right.
But I feel like, you know, if it happens to them, it definitely happens with, you know, anyone that might have that kind of imagery up in their iClouds or phones or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So joining us in on the call right now is Stephen Wago. Nobody said however.
Yeah, but that's my shtick.
People that don't follow the Monday Night Raw post show and stuff have no idea what we're talking about right now, but other podcasts happen on these networks, everybody. That's why you should check them all out. So Wago, to catch you up on what we've been talking about, we have gone over some of these topics. I want to get your opinion on them before we start talking about any other topics too. Bullying over Facebook, cyberbullying in general. Some of the things that we had mentioned before, I said that if you get bullied over Twitter, you're asking for it because Twitter sucks. And Tumblr is apparently bad with this. Facebook, of course, there's a lot of means for kids in school to carry things into the schoolyard, I guess you could say. passwords being stolen, accounts being hacked into. Doxing is a big section of safety and social media and all that. What are your thoughts when it comes to these kind of topics?
Well, it's funny. The first ever podcast that I did, this was actually the topic which we discussed. And my opinion hasn't changed much since then. If you are getting bullied on Facebook, that is your own fucking fault. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? There is a block option, and you can use it any fucking time that you want to use it. So if you let yourself open to that, then you've only got yourself to blame. Twitter's a bit of a different case because anyone in the world can follow you and abuse you. But what you've got to understand is the moment that you sign up for accounts on any of these social media platforms, you put yourself out there in a public forum. And people can hide behind names, people can hide behind nicknames, pictures, and be keyboard warriors all day long. And you can take that for what it is. Tumblr I stay away from because it's as if cancer and Down syndrome had a baby and that was the website that was made from it.
No!
So, like, between the fucking furries that obsess over My Little Pony and all their other fucked up scenarios and fandoms, and don't get me started on the supernatural shit, I won't touch that thing with a 10-foot barge pole. So, yeah, generally speaking, if you put yourself out on one of these platforms, you open yourself to punishment, and then if you're one of these people that don't block the people abusing you, you only have yourself to blame.
There's
What
like
else?
this whole outcry right now of people that will listen to this and be like, hey, wait a minute. Furries and bronies are not the same thing, buddy.
Oh, God.
And it'll be
Yeah.
like, well, you both deserve to be made fun of.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not making fun of all of them. I'm just making fun of the ones that purchase a dildo that has a tail on the end of it.
Of just those. That's the...
Yeah, specifically those
That's
fuckers.
the
right?
line.
Yeah, that's the line. As soon as you cross that line, I get to make fun of you and kill your family.
I love how you guys know more about dildos than I do. That's awesome.
Specify there that Wago knows more about it, because I didn't know that there were these brony tail dildos that were out there.
I've been to some dark corners of the internet. Why do you think I'm so fucked up?
Actually, you know what? You mentioning dark corners of the internet, you just made me think of something else. The dark internet. How much do you guys know about this? Because I don't know.
I think they prefer the term African American internet, and
That's a terrible joke, but I like it.
I know you'd laugh. Yeah, I haven't got a clue.
Well, the dark internet is
Okay, you
one of
can
the
explain,
terms. Okay, you weren't sure about that either?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it's what I'm thinking about, but go ahead.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different terms for it. It's basically the type of internet that's kind of hidden from people.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just kind of find it through search engines. You have to put a bunch of random numbers in, and you need to go through all these different hoops to get to it, but that's essentially where people do, like, escort service things, drug deals. They can, sell people through the internet, and
Well, that's actually funny. I used to watch a show on YouTube, and they had a show called PTFO Live. I don't remember what the PTFO part stands for, but they would find websites like this that had the escort services on and prank call the shit out of them, so I am somewhat familiar with them.
well, this is more for, like, the really crazy things, like where you could hire an assassin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Gets rid of the Tumblr folk.
Yeah, like, that's
Oh my
where.
god, what's the hate with Tumblr?
Where
But
does
my hate with Tumblr extends from every time that I see something fucking incredibly stupid and quoted and published on Facebook, I'm like, oh, I wonder where they got this from. Oh, it's Tumblr.
Oh, it's because they're not going to see the good stuff then. You just have to be more selective with the people that you see posting stuff from Tumblr. It's not all bad. There's some really awesome articles there.
If I
Not
want a
about
really awesome,
bronies and
here's the thing: if I want a really
dildos.
awesome article, I'll go to www.fanboysanonymous.com.
Ooh, nice plug.
Ooh, that was nice.
That was snazzy.
Okay, I will not say anything against that then.
Nothing
Well,
else.
Fanboys
is
Anonymous
Like
does have a
Tumblr's
Tumblr account.
awesome. Lots of cool stuff on Tumblr too.
Well, Wago, another thing that we
Wait,
talked
continue about the dark internet.
yeah, the dark internet, when it comes to those kind of things, they basically tell you, like, don't go looking for these unless you want to be on, like, an FBI list and stuff. I can't say that I've ever really looked into it, but I have really like done some research on it because I was just like, it's tempting as hell.
The only things that I've looked into which are sketchy is more out of interest than actually wanting to do it. But you know how many of the servers, like Sony and everyone's been taken down by DDoS attacks?
Mm-hmm.
I got interested in how the fuck is, like, because the people that are doing it are fucking brainless. They don't have no computer tech knowledge. They're going to places and they're just buying these DDoS attacks off people so they can run it themselves or pay someone to do it. And there's so many fucking websites you can go and find them. It's like, you could do it today.
Who should I attack?
Um,
Other than ComKids, because that's number one.
Wrestling content.
But on the opposite side of things, I mean, if you go to a place like a 4chan or something like that, you run the risk of getting attacked yourself. But if you go to one of these dark internet kind of websites, you're kind of putting yourself at danger when it comes to the law. What do you guys think about that? Is that something where there should be a level of anonymity where you don't have to use proxies and go crazy to try to block yourself? You should be able to look at anything really on the internet? Or is it okay for you to kind of have a stigma against yourself?
Here's where I'm at with that. If you want... It's a two-way streak. If you expect other people to put themselves out there, then you should have to put yourself out there too.
What do you mean? Elaborate.
No.
Well, good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Like, if you actually want... So, if you want to look up content about people and leave a fucking horrible, disparaging remark, then you shouldn't be able to hide from that. You should have to put yourself out there too. If you're fucking man enough to do it, then put your stamp on it.
But what about when it comes to, like, the FBI looking at what you've been searching?
It depends what you've been searching. If you've been searching for how do I successfully rape a cow, then yeah, the FBI should put you on their fucking list. Otherwise, you should be left to your own devices.
Kind of curious how many websites have that information, though.
I'm sure there would be at least.
Caroline,
I'm sure
get
there'd
on
be
that.
several.
I'm on it.
On the search or the cow? What are we going with here?
Both.
Well, now she knows about those dildos.
Yeah, now you guys taught me a whole new universe that I need to investigate.
A whole
Brony dildo. That is fucked up. But I don't know. Like I think that I really don't know because it's such a. It can go both ways. It can really be. It can either be something good where, it can help people save lives and stop really horrible things from happening, or it can just add to the clusterfuck that the internet is. Not saying it's a bad thing, but I don't know. I just keep thinking about, for instance, when that crazy guy posted on, I think it was on Instagram even, that he was gonna like kill cops, and the Instagram was there, and he ended up going and shooting 2 cops. But nobody really did anything about that, So I wonder even like how much the FBI, for instance, is on social media right now, or is looking at those websites, or if they just select a few words that every now and then raise like a red flag. But if that's the case, there's always ways for you to continue to do or plan to do horrible things and never really, get that red flag up.
Well, what's interesting what they're doing in Scotland is that they actually have their own Twitter account, and if you retweet a disparaging or alarming post to them, they'll actually investigate it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But at the same time, there's been some semi-harmless remarks. Like, the remarks they've made weren't that bad, but they've investigated it and fined people. So, there's, law, it's fucked up. It's never really monitored and done the right way. So there's been a lot of innocent people taken down in that too. So it might not be the best system to use.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this kind of stuff, Ronnie? Should you be held accountable for everything that you post, even if it's something that might not necessarily, or search too, might not necessarily tie directly to you, or might not be that bad or could be misconstrued. I mean, even when it comes to people that they get fired over Facebook because they've got a picture of themselves drinking or something, I'm kind of the opinion that if you post a picture of yourself smoking weed, the cops should technically kind of be able to look into you and be like, well, you're doing something illegal. Or if you have a whole bunch of searches for child porn, people should be looking into you because you're probably a pedophile.
Let me just make a comment on the first thing you said. A picture of smoking weed. I believe there's a few videos on smarkoutmoment.com where I'm blatantly taking a hit of a bong during a podcast.
But see, that's video evidence of you doing something that's technically illegal.
It's not illegal. I have a card, thank you very much.
Well, then you have nothing to worry about.
But here's the thing. I don't think, as far as photographs go, of drug use, you can put a fucking line of talcum powder down and pretend you're snorting that to look cool over the internet. Unless they catch you in the act, you shouldn't be able to police it.
That is true. Because you can Photoshop tons of stuff.
Yeah. And I think as far as drinking goes, I mean, if you post a picture of yourself with a drink in your hand, I mean, if you're 21, then you're not doing anything illegal. Now, if you're sitting there posting all the pictures from your crazy night out where everyone's passed out drunk on the ground, then, maybe you shouldn't be posting those kind of pictures online. But I do think it's stupid for everyone to go crazy if someone's posting a picture with a beer in their hand. I just think
that's just excessive.
Yeah.
No, in general, I mean, like you said, if you're 21, there shouldn't be any problem to it whatsoever. But, people can use that kind of stuff in court to influence, well, you posted a video of yourself drinking and 2 hours later you got into a fight. You probably were intoxicated and stuff. Is it worth it to have people be able to use that? Or should you have, when we mentioned the term earlier, have more of a wall of security behind what you do? Should that kind of be inadmissible?
Well, here's the thing with drinking. That's substantial evidence. You can't monitor how fucked I was the night before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true.
So I think unless you've got hard evidence, you shouldn't be able to use anything online unless there's video proof of you doing something fucking illegal. Hitting a bong on a podcast.
Here's the thing, though. It's not hard evidence, but people can still use it as some sort of character evidence for you in court. If you have pictures, let's say somebody was a possible witness to a crime, and then the defense attorney brings up that person happens to have thousands and thousands of pictures of porn on their Facebook, even though that's not even related to the case, technically can still make, the most conservative jury members not want to trust that person. And it still counts.
Yeah, your online persona should definitely not affect something in court, your character in court, because face it, Tony, you've known me for the better part of a year plus. If they used half the shit that I said on any of these shows, they'd think I'm the scum of the fucking earth. And I'm not that bad. I'm pretty bad, but I'm not that bad.
No, I'm not talking about I feel us, we have an understanding that, we talk about a lot of stuff that, might not be soothing to a lot of people or whatnot. But the jury is not always made up of people that are just open-minded and are able to understand a joke. There's always people that are in those juries that are very conservative and they just think they don't get the whole social media thing. So it's just easy for an attorney, if they're smart enough and they can play it up, to make that something against you. I'm just saying that, not but it's internet. You could do whatever you want really on your Facebook, and that shouldn't really reflect who you are, because a lot of people pretend they're someone else anyways on Facebook and any other profile they have up online, but it could definitely be used against you, and there's no big way of protecting against that unless you don't post anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're not involved in any crime.
Now, something that I had asked Ronnie and Caroline earlier, I wanted to get your opinion on it, Wago. Have you ever bullied anybody over the internet, or have you ever hacked into anybody's accounts or any of that kind of stuff? Wago.
You know what? It helps if I start talking whilst the microphone's not muted. But
I thought that the police got to you.
if you're stupid enough to leave your Facebook logged in, I am all over that shit. Yeah, I've never actually gone and hacked someone, but I've had fun at people's expenses if they've left their account open and left me in the same room. I'd fucking do that to anyone. It's funny as hell. I've done it to Jonna. As far as, what was the other question you asked me?
Have you ever bullied anybody over the internet?
Or been bullied?
Or been bullied yourself.
I've never been bullied over the internet because I don't give enough of a fuck to be offended. But when I was, say, probably 13, maybe even up until 15, there's occasions where if I can get under someone's skin, I've probably carried it out a little too far. But no, I've never, made someone want to commit suicide or anything like that. It's just fucking name-calling. But now I'm matured, I'm old enough, and I don't do that shit anymore. And that's just pretty much anything. You get that in high school, and you're going to get that with young kids on the internet. It's reality.
The only other topic that I can think of on the reverse kind of side of things, if we're talking safety on the internet, whatever, Caroline, you brought up the idea of people being, what's a nice way to say prude?
A stuck-up bitch.
Yeah, we'll go with that one. Censorship. Some people try to argue that the internet needs to be safer and you need to censor more things because when there's kids out there, they can find a whole bunch of stuff. And
yeah, that worked for North Korea, didn't it?
I'm of the opinion that it's all on the parents. And, if somebody were to say, okay, well, we've gone to fanboysanonymous.com because, my son went there because he wanted to check a video game review and he clicked on some of your other videos and you guys are cursing on there. And why do you guys do that? You should censor it because it should be PG or whatever. Fuck you. No, it doesn't have to be. But I do kind of agree that obviously some things should not be on the internet. We brought up child porn. Child porn shouldn't be anywhere.
Yeah.
Ever. For any reason whatsoever. But what's the level of censorship that you think is the proper level of safety when it comes to this? I mean, we've got parental controls and we've got the ability, even though some people think that we don't, the ability to stand there and watch what our kids are doing on the internet. But is that a high priority where you shouldn't go to YouTube and see anything remotely offensive or... I've gotten flags for videos where I've had a woman in a bikini as my thumbnail, and they're like, that's offensive.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Jesus. It's
not offensive to the majority of people out there, but if you're that type of person, that's offensive to you, and that's not safe to see. And what do you guys think about that? Is there, are we at, the right levels of safety on the internet, or are we dangerously... leaving things out there that people shouldn't be seen, or should we allow more things to be seen?
No, I say the censorship that we've got right now, it's pretty much non-existent, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Don't get me wrong, there's certain things that shouldn't be on the internet, but it's gonna get on there no matter what, because as long as there's fucked up people in the world, there's fucked up things gonna happen, online or real life. Otherwise, I'm perfectly fine with just having a free-for-all. It starts with the parents, and if they don't want their child to hear Stephen Wago say cunt and fuck a lot, then they should probably stop their child from listening to Stephen Wago, because I'm going to say cunt and fuck a lot, and there's no one that can stop me. Fuck, fuckity, fuck, 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 cunt, 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 cunt.
Well said. No, I agree. I think that people just get offended over everything, and it's just ridiculous. People need to, get out of their own little bubble here and realize that the world is not going to cater to them. if you really get offended over a thumbnail of a woman in a bikini, you need to reevaluate some things in your life. Like, what do you do when you go to the beach? Do you blindfold your kids the whole time so they can't see anybody? Like,
yeah, wouldn't it be awesome if like that happened and someone just starts flag, I'm flagging you.
But really though, just kids are not stupid, despite what people think. They see things, they notice things, and especially at school, you have no control over what other kids are talking about, what your kids might be exposed to. I'm sure kids at younger and younger ages are hearing the god-awful language that no parent wants their little kids to hear. I mean, you can't protect your kids from that kind of stuff 24/7. And they're going to be exposed to it. And I think that kind of stuff, it's ridiculous to try to censor. Other things, like you mentioned, child porn, obviously that should never be on the internet. Nobody should have to see that. No kids should be involved in that. But I just think there is a line there.
What about you, Caroline? I'm going to pick a specific example for you because I think this is going to be something that you'll be like, well, I don't know.
Oh, God.
Seeing violence on the internet. Now, if I click on 4chan, I might be clicking there because somebody's got a funny picture of like a meme or something like that. But if I go on the random board, there's a good chance I'm going to see some head blown off or, or porn or racist jokes. And, there's like a lot of different things that some people might be offended about. But that's something that, I mean, I don't get like my stomach queasy and for everything like that, but at the same time, if I'm scrolling through a news feed or something, I don't want to see a picture of like a person with their eyeball hanging out or whatever. There's actually on Facebook right now, a friend of mine, mutual friend with you, Ronnie, has a picture of a video, or not a picture of a video, a picture of a cat that was mutilated with a firecracker.
Oh God!
And I immediately scrolled down past that because I was just like, I know that this is supposed to be showing like, don't do this and terrible people and we gotta fix this kind of stuff or whatever, but I don't want to see it either. Like,
yeah.
I kind of want to censor myself in that kind of regard, but you are really into a lot of violence and a lot of blood and gore and stuff like that. What do you think is the line when it comes to that?
Oh, man. Here's the thing. I feel that certain things, like autopsy videos or very graphic accidents, ideally they shouldn't be out in the open because it might gross people out, but it also makes people feel more numb when it comes to violence. And I say that, and I'm like a great example of this. My dad, he does a lot of criminology research, and I remember when I was 5 years old, I found this VHS on his office, and I went to watch it. It was actually somebody being electrocuted in an electric chair, and that person was not wearing a mask, so you could see what happened to somebody's face and to their eyeballs and all of that. And I did not say anything to my parents about it. I don't even think they know to this day.
They don't know.
Well, I don't think they're going to listen to this one. It traumatized me. But after that, whenever I saw something violent, I don't think it's ever going to compare to that image. Not that, there are things that are way worse than that, but I just feel like because I saw it in such an early age, a young age, it did something to me in a way that nothing's gonna beat that shock,
It's made you numb to anything else.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And I mean, I do special effects, and I'm a horror writer, so I do look at a lot of graphic stuff. Now, I would never show any of that nature to my cousins, even cousins that are older than me, or some of my friends. That I just feel like there should be websites for it, like there are. I don't think they should be out in the open, but I also feel like it's on the parents to teach their kids, not so much on like what a website they can't see and what image they can or cannot see. It's more like they need to teach their kids to think for themselves and know that why certain things are not good for them to see, and why they should avoid certain things. Like if I ever have kids, I'm not, I'm gonna tell them, there are things on the internet, like there is extreme violence on the internet. These images you might see someday, but I just don't want you to start seeing them right now, because
it's all about perspective.
They're not good. They're not gonna make you feel good. They're not gonna make you smarter or cooler. They just might bring you more nightmares at night, and that's just not good, So it's a lot about talking and communicating and making people understand that the internet's always going to be there. Even if tomorrow people are able to ban all the child pornography in every single website, there's still going to be people finding a way of putting those images out there. So it's always going to be there. We just have to figure out ways of, protecting ourselves, like scrolling down really fast on pictures of kitties that's been hurt, and talking to the people that matter to us, and, to protect themselves against that too, because if they don't want to see it, they don't have to see it, and it shouldn't be like on their faces all the time.
And I think that's a good way to handle it, actually sitting there and trying to talk to your kids about why you're telling them they shouldn't be seeing this stuff. Because if you tell a kid, no, don't look at that, and that's it, and just walk
they're gonna
away,
look at it.
Yeah, that's the first thing they're going to do. But if you sit there, if you actually sit them down and talk to them and explain things, then I think that is a much better way to try to handle it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, everything that you tell a kid not to do, they're going to do it. Come on. So it might be just better to make them understand why it's not a good idea.
Well, I'm kind of out of ideas of other subjects to branch off of with this. Am I forgetting anything that you guys can think of? Anybody want to throw out a topic that we haven't talked about?
I haven't had a chance to comment on the fappening, but woo, fappening!
So you were 100% pro
if
celebrity.
You're stupid enough to put your tits out on the fucking cloud, it's not even like they've saved it to a folder on their desktop that says naughty bits. No, they fucking threw that shit up on a cloud, which any fucker can go ahead and see. So that's their own fault. If you put your information on a public forum, I don't care if it's meant to be secure, shit ain't secure anymore. Keep your tit pictures to yourself. Actually, don't, because then I get to see them.
I was just gonna say, if you really want them to just keep it to themselves.
You're gonna deprive me of all those people? Come on.
I wouldn't worry about depriving you as much as I would Sean. I think he'd heart break.
Right now, Sean's gonna leave a comment on here. I guarantee it. It's gonna be something about, what's her name, Abigail something or whatever. I don't remember her name. Abigail Spencer. That's the one that he keeps mentioning all the time. But yeah, are there any other topics that we covered? Cyberbullying, passwords, accounts being hacked into, doxing, safety for what you're searching for, the FBI getting into you, trolls on the internet.
I can't think of anything else.
I guarantee you, if I don't think of anything else, when I'm editing this, I'm going to think of something that's a huge topic, and I'm going to end up leaving a comment for myself of just being like, you ass, why didn't you remember this one?
It's okay, Tony. I always think you're an ass.
Yeah, there you go. Well, if we don't really have that much else to say, then I do know one thing that we do have to say. Plugs! Woo! Everybody's favorite thing. Promotional stuff. Yay. So let's go around the fictional round table that we have here on Skype and just promote some stuff going on that we have in our worlds right now. Caroline, you're up first.
Oh, gee. Okay. Well, I just want everybody to keep checking Fanboys Anonymous and all the awesome articles there are being posted constantly up there. My articles, too. Yay. If you like horror and weird stuff.
And videos of dead people. And
What? Wait, what?
I'm just teasing.
Wait, did you just call me that word I just told you?
No.
No!
Oh,
Dead
okay.
videos of dead people. Tony, stop being such a coup.
And there goes our any Portuguese-speaking members of our audience.
Ah, crap! That demographic was holding us up.
That siren in the back, that's the Portuguese.
Yeah, oh my god, it's right here. It's like so many police cars right now. It's crazy.
They're coming after you.
They're coming for me. They saw my search history. I'm like, done.
They're like, she found our electrocution video.
Oh god. And all the pictures that I have saved on my desktop.
The FBI is listening in on this Skype call right now, so I'd like to say hi to whatever agent is stuck listening to this.
You just made his day.
They noticed.
Yeah,
Come
we just
on
get
over,
some
John, we
random
can hang
message
out.
pop up on Skype from like Agent Smith or something, and he's like, "Oh, thanks, guys." So, what else was there that you wanted to promote, Caroline?
Wait, I don't even remember what I just said. Yeah, and check out my website, czofx.com. That's it. I'm done.
Ronnie?
Personally, I've got nothing really going on right now. I'm in my last year, finishing up pharmacy school, and it's kicking my ass. But a few more months and I'm done. But I will do the cop-out thing and just say, keep checking Fanboys Anonymous, because I have nothing else.
What about your Tumblr?
No, don't go on my Tumblr, because there's nothing there but me just reblogging stuff. It's nothing that interesting, I
It's
promise.
like, don't show Wago, there's My Little Pony there.
Oh, God, no. Don't even joke about that.
Wago, anything you want to plug other than some buttholes with these random dildos that you're talking about?
If I haven't offended you this evening, then please check me out on a multiple of different forums. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you can check me out on megapowsradio.com every Monday as WWE Raw goes off air, as we are on the blah blah blah. I can do plugs really good. Check me out every Monday on the post Raw show. We're going to talk about wrestling. Do you want to let me re-record that, Tony?
Oh, I'm not editing this. You're going along with it.
Oh, am I? All right, and if you like dick pics and child pornography, go to smartcatmoment.com.
Oh my
Sure
god.
you want to keep that in there, Tony?
Yes, because it's a joke.
All right, and also check out Wago Rants on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio. And for all your MMA needs, go to udmma.com, facebook.com/udmma, and twitter.com/udmma. And I really don't care what I fucked up because it was Payden's plugs, not mine. Payden just messaged us almost home. Dick.
Alrighty, guys. Some of them have been mentioned before, obviously, fanboysanonymous.com. If you aren't watching this on YouTube, you're on iTunes or Stitcher, then you don't see the things on the screen right now, and I should mention them. Facebook.com/fanboysanonymous and Twitter.com/fanboysanon, because they don't let us fit a miss in there. If you want to follow those accounts and be bullied by us, why not? You can check those out. Obviously, I just mentioned iTunes and Stitcher for all you YouTube people out there. Subscribe to any and all those that you possibly can. If you are listening to this relatively quickly after we post it up, we are doing a contest right now where you can win a free Rocket Raccoon hoodie as a part of a promotional tie-in that we have with TV Store Online and obviously Guardians of the Galaxy. We will be doing one of those pretty much once a month, so stay tuned for whatever the next one would be if you're listening a little bit later on that. And other than that, pretty much all of the Tony Mango side of things, you can see that plastered all over the place. I'm not going to throw them all out there. Go to smarkoutmoment.com and fanboysanonymous.com and outonlimbs.com, and you will see many, many accounts. I think for the most part, that pretty much means that we're done this group meeting. That's I guess it that we have to say about social media and safety and all that other kind of stuff. But if we missed any topics, leave a comment below, either on YouTube or on the page itself on fanboysanonymous.com, and tell us your opinions about any of these subject matters. Tell us if you think that we were too harsh or not harsh enough. I don't know. Just don't bully us. because then I'll make us cry.
Especially if you're a celebrity listening to this, let us know.
Yes.
And we'll bring you in for the next one.
Very much so. And then
Put your tits on the cloud.
For Ronnie Brown, for Stephen Wago, and for Caroline Oliveira, I am Tony Mango. I am a fanboy no matter what, whether we're getting horrible harassment comments on YouTube or not. This meeting's adjourned. See you next time, everybody, for episode 16.